Hello, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Brenden Burkhart and I teach physics here at Clarkstown North High School. When I was asked by my former student Phoebe Fisher to give a talk this afternoon, the original theme that sucked me in was how are we the same and how are we different? In order to answer this question, we are going to have to be pretty honest with each other. One way to ensure that honesty is for you, the crowd, to become more comfortable with me as a speaker. So in order to do that, I might have to do something that will make me in some way more relatable to you. I'm going to ask you all a very personal question at some point, and I'm going to need your answers to be visual, and I'm going to need it as a visual aid to make my case. I'm going to do this Silence of the Lambs style. Quid pro quo, cabbies. I'm going to tell you a brief, embarrassing story about myself, and that perhaps will be enough for you to be honest with me. Please accept my tribute. A couple years ago, my wife, myself, and my friend Ben, were going to visit my aunt in Maryland, in Salisbury, and it's a pretty straightforward route, right? You take the Garden State, you get onto the New Jersey Turnpike, you keep going south, you hit Delaware, you yawn because you drive through the extent of Delaware, and then you're there, okay? I thought I knew it back to front. So I'm on the Garden State Parkway, and my GPS says to get into the right lane. And instead, I think I know better, and I get onto Express. Recalculating was all the warning I got. I drove the length of the Garden State Parkway before I realized that the setting on my GPS, minimize ferries, was set to off. Needless to say, the trip took an extra 3 hours that it didn't need to take. And to this day, my friends and family still say when we get lost, well, Brenden, you could always take the ferry. So now let's redirect to the topic at hand. What makes us the same? Well, we are all humans. Unbelievable, but true. And every human has a brain. Again, unbelievable, true. And that brain has to grow. And along with our bodies, it has to grow along with us and grow up. Scientifically, how are we similar? Well, who we are, our brains, all go through the same changes at a pretty similar time scale. Pediatricians can reasonably map out when infants are going to reach certain developmental milestones. School curriculums are written based on what intellectual goals and skills students should be able to reach at that specific age. Now for the personal question. Please don't be shy in raising your hands, and remember, you owe me. How many of you, at some point in your life, have felt like everyone in the room is staring at you? And I don't mean like me right now. Obviously, okay, I'm up here. I mean like everybody is noticing that pimple, or judging what you're wearing, or what you're saying, or something. Could everybody please raise your hands if you have felt like that at some point? And what I'd like you all to do is just look around and notice how many people have felt the same way. Thank you for your honesty. Bring your hands down. Okay. Now, this is actually a psychological phenomenon known as the imaginary audience. Not everyone is looking at you. In fact, that level of paranoia is being shared by pretty much everyone around you. Okay? It's a part of the brain maturing. It's a result of the part of the brain maturing and beginning to comprehend our place in our universe. And again, this is a normal feeling to have and experience. So this is what I've got so far. We are all human, our brains pickle roughly the same way, and according to science, I have no individual identity. Great. Pause that thought. As an educator, I also believe in something called scaffolding. And scaffolding is an idea of education that new knowledge cannot be built unless it is built upon old knowledge. For example, my fairy story isn't very funny to anyone who doesn't know what the Garden State Parkway is, doesn't know how long I must have driven without realizing my mistake. And it's not funny to people who don't know what a ferry is. It's a boat. If all knowledge is built on old knowledge, who were your first teachers? Your parents or your guardians? Who were their first teachers? Their parents or their guardians? And the knowledge that you initially go out and face the world with is built upon where we have come from, or even where that from has come from. And no one has ever come from exactly the same place because of it. And just to talk about you as individuals, all of you have drawn from your own experiences. Even identical twins that observe the same event don't come away with the same perception. So how couldn't we all be unique? Is science wrong? No, the science is right. We all go through the same processes as we mature. Who we are, though, as individuals is much more complicated. Crazy thing about the imaginary audience, it happens at roughly the same time for an entire population. Widespread, mutual paranoia. I call it middle school. And different people handle it differently. Some people become more reclusive and shy away from the attention. And some people are more extroverted. Some people find safety in numbers and form vicious social cliques. Right? And some people just become more caring and friendly than they ever were before. So let's answer the initial question that stuck me in the first place. How are we the same? Our path in life, through our brain's chemical development, is predictable from the day we were born to the day we are no longer here. But how are we different? Our actions, based on our experiences and how we experience them, could seem anything but predictable. I think what we all need to remember, if we are going to have a better future, is that people are people, going through roughly the same things you are going through. At the same time, no matter where you go, those people are the very summary of all their past experiences, good, bad, or indifferent. I hope that these two thoughts can help give you a little more patience in an ever less patient world, and that they give you the will to look for some common ground where at first none seems viable. Thank you.